welcome to Across the Multiverse. My name is Ryan.
My name's Ethan.
And we're basically going to be talking about all things Magic the Gathering in these podcasts. So this was just kind of an idea that stemmed off of, like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night after an F&M draft. Just, it happened. And now we're going to do it, because that's what we do. So I'm starting the timer for our episode right now. These are going to be 30-minute episodes, talking about basically anything in Magic that we find interesting, whether it's what happened at an F&M draft to one of us, what's going on with spoilers online, or like, I don't know, anything in the pro community, basically anything, right?
It's just basically all thoughts Magic.
Yeah, so basically it's going to be our really crappy input, and it's going to be hilarious, and we're going to basically aim to have fun on the show. So, with that being said, today we're going to be talking about game day and the standard environment as of our devastation. Today is August 6th, 2017, so we just saw the release of Our Devastation come out. Nico Bolas is running a temper tantrum everywhere.
Destroying all sorts of planes for fun because he can.
Just why not, right? I would do the same. No, maybe I wouldn't. I would be more like Saheeli Rai.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Alright.
Make stuff.
Build stuff, make stuff, take over.
Yeah, why
Revolution, throw over the city, burn
not?
it to the ground.
In disguise, I was Tesseract. So, that's basically going to be it. And without further ado, Ethan, what have you brewed up for Standard today?
Well, if you're looking for bad mana base and terrible win conditions, then I'm your player. No, today I decided to brew up a mono blue mill deck. Mill to kill, basically. There are no creatures in this deck.
Oh, God.
So it's basically, my condition obviously is milling out my opponent by using Fraying Sanity and Startled Awake. But as I said before, there's no creatures in this deck, so I have a lot of counters, return back to hand, all sorts of things to really annoy my opponent because no one likes blue.
Yeah, everybody hates blue.
It's
included. It's
yeah,
terrible.
It's
like
a terrible, terrible.
So, obviously the namesake of the deck is Fraying Sanity.
Correct.
So, that is an enchantment that, because we can't put stuff on the thing because we're not that high-tech, because we're ridiculous. At the beginning of each end step, enchanted player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard, where X is the number of cards put into that graveyard from anywhere this turn. This is an enchant player, if you've never heard of that, if you're brand new to the game. That's basically when, if I was going to enchant you as the player, you are the one that has to do this at the end of every turn.
Oh, man.
Yeah, doesn't that suck? And you built this monstrosity.
Oh, no, I can't wait to see how bad it fails.
That's okay. So, just go through everything in the deck. Start taking out cards.
Absolutely.
Play sets of, read off the cards, everything. We want to get a full deck tech.
Okay, so we already know what Fraying Sanity does. I'm running a play set of those, which is 4 for all you new players out there. But I also have 3 in 2 rivets?
Ipnu?
Yeah, those 2.
We don't know how to pronounce card names.
Half the time we just make them up. But
Yes.
I'm only running 3 of these just because I don't really want to pay the 1 life to add blue.
So basically, this is one of the deserts from the new set. It's in one of the uncommon cycles. Ipnu Riverlet says you can tap it to add the little diamond colorless symbol to your mana pool. You can pay 1 life and add a blue to your mana pool. Or you can pay 1 colorless or 1 generic of any color, not colorless, because, wizards like to change the rules of the game all the time. So you can do a generic and a blue and tap it and sacrifice a desert. It doesn't have to be this desert. It could be any that you have on your side of the field. And target player puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Now, why does that synergize so well with Fraying Sanity?
Well, think of it this way, right? My turn comes, I sacrifice the desert. As you said before, it could be any desert. Maybe I'll sacrifice this one or the one next to it. I don't know. It's up to
You're
me.
tricky.
So, with Fraying Sanity enchanted onto the player beforehand, obviously, they have to mill the top 4 cards of their deck. So they do that. But at the end of turn, Fraying Sanity triggers, and they have to mill out an additional 4 cards.
So it's like double mill. But the best part about it is that if you actually have 2 Fraying Sanities out, that effect can stack onto itself. So if you had 2 Fraying Sanities out and you Ipnu Riverlet, you would make them mill 4 the first time, and then because you stacked the second one under it, they would mill 8, because 8 was the number of cards put into their graveyard this turn. So in total, you're milling them, what, 16?
16 cards.
In one turn for 2. That's pretty wild.
It's pretty annoying.
It's better than glimpse. So, Ibnu Riverlet, cool. What's like your other namesake mill card in the deck?
Well, we have Compelling Argument, which is also a new card from Amonkhet. Cast of 2. It's a sorcery. This target player puts the top 5 cards of his or her library into the graveyard. But I also have Cycling with this too. In case I don't need it, but I'm gonna need it considering it's a mill deck. So.
Yeah, I mean, come on, right? Why would you not need it in a mill deck?
That's my other major component.
So is that all the mill you have in the deck?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Gotta have more.
Jeez.
In the beginning. In the beginning, you gotta have more. So, Franny Sanity works incredibly well with the sorcery called Startled Awake. And what Startled Awake is target opponent puts the top 13 cards of his or her library into the graveyard.
That's 26 if you have Franny Sanity.
Exactly.
That reads 26 to me.
So technically, if that all goes well, this could be
that
a
literally
4-turn win deck.
Reads, I win on turn 4 if you have the 2 Fraying Sanities out. Like, if you somehow ramp or something.
Yeah, something like
or
that.
Or some way you get another mana and you get 2 Fraying Sanities out, you win turn 4 if you cast that card successfully. Because that's 56 cards.
Exactly.
Into the graveyard.
And let's say for some reason they actually do live and I don't have another Startled Awake. Well, I can obviously pay 3 generic and 2 blue to bring Startled Awake to the battlefield, make it a 1/1 creature with Sulk.
Called Persistent Nightmare. This is the flip card. They did these in Shadows over Innistrad. It's a returning mechanic from original Innistrad.
So it does 1 combat damage or anything really, and then it gets automatically back to my hand as the sorcery Startled Awake, and that's another 13 cards off of Franny Sanity.
So you just keep doing it because nobody likes you.
Basically. I love it. I hope this works. But
I hope it doesn't.
That's the basic mills, and then for protection, we have cancel, counter target opponent. But one thing that actually does really help a lot, if I can find it, I had it in my hand,
is conceding the game.
No, never concede. Always go out swinging.
Always concede.
Is
Just
actually
kidding, don't do that.
Engulf the Shore.
Oh, okay. So this is a sorcery or an instant card. I'm sorry, from Innistrad's Shadows over Innistrad. For 3 generic and a blue, return to their owner's hands all creatures with toughness less than or equal to the number of islands you control. So, because this being a mono blue deck, I'm assuming you have a bunch of islands.
Not just a bunch of islands. A bunch of full art islands.
Ooh, missed a big shot.
Paying the extra few cents for those
There
full
you
arts.
go. And remember, kids, always buy full arts.
Gotta look fancy. Even if you suck, you can still look good.
Listen
It's
to
a
that
terrible device.
So, basically, this is just a one-sided board wipe, because he has no creatures anyway.
Mhm.
You know? So, why not?
But that's basically the gist of my deck, is to cancel everything you put and mill you out until you flip the table.
I'm about to flip this table just from listening to it.
Sounds great. Don't do that, I worked hard.
Alright, cool. Well, I guess it's time for my deck.
Oh yes, what are you playing this week?
I kind of net decked a little bit, so...
Ooh, dirty!
I am dirty. I am dirty. Well, see, I'm not running the full vert, because cards didn't come in time. So, basically, I'm running the Ramanap Red deck that has been storming standard this whole past weekend at the Pro Tour. Basically, Ramanap Red gets its name by being a mono red deck that plays the card Ramanap Ruins. And I have a 4 of in here. Playset. Ramanap Ruins is a desert, just like Ibnu Riverlet was. It's part of the uncommon cycle of deserts in Our Devastation.
Oh god, Bolt.
It says, it's basically Lightning Bolt on the picture, but you're sad that it's just not Lightning Bolt, because I try every
so
time.
much more. Rest in pepperoni.
R.I.P. So, anyway, Ramanap Ruins. Ramanumanap. It's a desert. You can do the same thing as the Ibnu Riverlet, so tap it to add a colorless symbol to your mana pool, tap it to pay 1 life, but this time to add red, because remember it's a mono red deck, and the ability on it, instead of with the Ibnu Riverlet you mill for by paying 1 and a blue, this one you pay 2 generic, 2 of any kind, and 2 red mana, and tap it to sacrifice a desert. Again, it doesn't have to be this one. And Ramanap Ruins deals 2 damage to each opponent. So late game, when you run out of all your creatures and your burn spells, and you're left with nothing, you have a couple of these on the board, and you just start throwing them at your opponent's face to close out the win.
That's actually pretty good for late game, like you said. If
Yep.
you run out of burns or spells, like, oh man, what do? I don't know, I'll just blow up my own land to kill them.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And the other thing that I really like is that this deck plays a lot of weird commons and stuff for some reason, and they're just really good and synergistic.
What do you mean? Like, what do you got for commons?
So, continuing on mana base, I'll finish the whole mana base, then I'll go into the deck. I have a playset of Sun-Scorched Desert. Now, who the hell thought that Sun-Scorched Desert was going to be played in Standard? I sure didn't. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target player, and all it does is tap to add a colorless to your mana pool.
Well, I mean,
That does absolutely nothing unless you're playing the red deck, because this into a Bomat Courier turn 1 is 2 damage turn 1. And I'll show you Bomat Courier in a second. But, again, this is a common from Amonkhet, and it's just a common land that taps for colorless. But added value, because it's a desert, you can sack it to Ramanap Ruins.
so it's just a little...
So these turn into bolts.
I was about to say.
They turn into bolts. Yeah, that's the point. To close out the mana base, it's 14 mountains. I don't have my full arts because I'm a scrub. Mostly because I'm running all the other full art mountains I have somewhere else. But, like I was saying, Bomat Courier. So this is my first creature in the deck. It's 1 mana for a 1/1 with haste. It's a rare from Kaladesh. Whenever Bomat Courier attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. So you can't look at the card. You just take it from the top and put it right under Bomat Courier when it attacks. Then, anytime you can, you may pay a red. Discard your hand. Sacrifice Bomat Courier. So you pitch your hand. If you have no cards in hand, you can't discard your hand, so you just discard nothing. And then you sacrifice Bomat Courier. And you put all cards exiled with Bomat Courier into their owner's hands. So say you have 5 cards under here, like, 5 turns in or something, and you ran out of gas. For 1 red mana, you sacrifice one of these guys, and you get just gas back into your hand. You just start bolting off at your opponent.
It's actually a weird way for red to get cards.
I know, and I like it.
Usually you have to sacrifice a lot more.
Yeah, you definitely do, and I think that this is probably one of the reasons why the deck is so good, because you can just refill your hand completely.
Just more gas, which red players always want.
Yeah, gas is fun. So, in this deck, I am running it a little bit differently than how the Pro Tour decks are run. That's why I'm going over it, because, again, we're still in the 1-drop slot for creatures. I'm running 2 of a Village Messenger. Now, I still don't have the second copy, and I think you might have one. So.
Yes, I have that in my bag.
So, I'm going to get it later. But, Village Messenger, $20.
Alright.
So, Village Messenger is a 1 red mana, 1/1, with haste. Now, again, that's usually not great. But in this deck, swinging for 1 turn 1 is kind of what you want to do, And at the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform it. So it's the same thing as Startled Awake. They're one of the flip cards. So, again, Shadows over Innistrad. It's an uncommon, if you're wondering. When you flip it, it's a 2/2 with Menace.
Turn 1, flip next turn.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, even late game, if you only cast this and then, your opponent doesn't cast anything for some reason, now you just have a 2/2 with Menace, and that could be enough to close out a game completely. But either way, it's still a pretty good aggressive creature. I find it good at 2 instead of, playsets of it, because I know a lot of people are running playsets. But there's a couple other cards that I wanted to include in here instead, and I'll go over those in a little bit when we get to sorceries. So now, another card that I think really makes the deck is Falcon Wrathgorger. 1 red mana for a 2/1. Each vampire creature you control that isn't on the battlefield has Madness. The Madness cost is equal to its mana cost. Ignore that test completely. All it is a 2/1 for 1. That's exactly what you want in this deck. You drop that turn 1. And the next turn you're swinging in for 2, maybe 3 or 4, depending on what you draw.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a solid card in this deck. Moving on to 2-drops, I am running Earthshaker Kenras. They're 2 mana, 2/1s, and when they enter, target creature can't block, I think it is. I don't have the card in front of me. I'm not about to just go look it up. But they didn't come here in time, so I'm going to have to run some cards in my sideboard, which also isn't completely done, but... I started making this deck last week, so it was like a scramble to get the cards. So,
I made
yes.
this like 3 days ago out of
I'm running...
Slacking.
Well, you know, I'm trying to build off deck lists, so...
Oh, yeah.
You just kind of threw it in the wind.
It's the best way to do it.
Yeah, because you're insane.
Because I'm terrible at Magic.
There you go. So, yeah, that's a 4 of in one of my 2-drop slots. I'm running a 3 of Karizev Skyship Raider. 1 generic, 1 red, for a 1/3, first strike menace, legendary creature, human pirate.
That thing's a pain to deal with, just because of...
Whenever it attacks, create a 2/1 red monkey creature token named Ragavan. That's tapped and attacking, exile it at the end of combat. So not only do you get a 1/3 with first strike and menace, you also get a 2/1 that just is there. Like, if someone wastes their removal on that, cool. Because who cares? It just comes back every time Karizev attacks. And I only run 3 because it's a legendary creature. I don't want to flood my hand with them. If they're doing good, you know, I don't want to just drop it and have to sacrifice it. You know, it's just more efficient that way. Next up, in my 3-drop creature slot, I have Uncrop Crasher. Like I said, I'm running a lot of weird, uncommon things in the deck, and this is how the deck works. So for 3 mana, 2 generic and 1 red, I get a 3/2 with haste. And I may exert Uncrop Crasher as it attacks. When I do, target creature can't block this turn. It's pretty good. So if you have 1 creature...
For a 3-drop with haste...
If you got 1 creature, say I went Falkenrath Gorger, Karizev, then Uncrop Crasher. You're down pretty low now. Like, you're down, what? 2?
And this is all by turn...
5.
What, 3, 4?
Yeah, this is turn 3. This is turn 3. You're down by 8 damage.
That's including the token?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're down 8 damage right there, turn 3. And that's not including, like, the next turn where I could just kill you.
Yeah, just
You know?
throwing out more.
And that's, like, one of the only okay things you can do in the deck. That's how good it is.
Just okay. You can
Just
kill someone
okay.
almost on turn 3, but that's only okay.
It's only okay. So, the next thing that I'm doing a little bit differently, which I wish I wasn't because, you know, money. But
Uh-oh.
I have a 2 of Hazoret the Fervent. I want this to be a 4 of because it's so ridiculous, but they're like $15 right now. So
Are they?
Yeah, they're that good.
They shot up that much.
They're that good. So
Should have kept mine.
for 4 mana, you get a 5/4 God legendary creature, indestructible and haste. It can attack or block unless you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. I actually saw someone, I don't know if you were watching the Pro Tour, but somebody actually played a Hazoret and they had the win that turn. But when they drew their extra card or whatever, they went right to attacks.
Is that what the video that I said, like, the biggest
Yeah,
mistake
they
in
like
Magic?
started freaking out. Yeah, because when he went to attacks and because they're at like pro level gaming, he couldn't attack with Hazoret because he had 2 cards in hand. He had the win if he just Incinerary flowed the guy. But anyway, I wish that I had more of these guys because they also have the ability 2 in a red. Discard a card. Hazoret deals 2 damage to each opponent. What if that mountain's not doing anything in your hand? Thing. 2 damage.
Is that the sound effects for the...
Thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Oh man. So that kind of rounds out my creatures. In main board.
Very aggro.
Yes, that's the whole point of the deck. It's very aggressive. Now, going right to instance. I got a playset Shock. I mean, it's as good as you can get for 1 mana right now, you know, in standard. Deals 2 damage to target creature to play. You know, it's straightforward. Boop. Shock. It gets rid of the early stuff so you can attack right through.
Mm-hmm.
Late game punches them in the face for 2. It's pretty nice. Let's see. I'm running a full playset of a Braid. I also need to trade somebody for the last one, but it's okay. A Braid is one of the best, like, the best spells in the format right now. If you're not running a Braid and you're running a red deck, you need to. 1 and a red for an instant. Choose one. Choose ones are always the best, because you just get to choose what happens. A Braid deals 3 damage to target creature. That kills a lot of creatures.
It took a bolt, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it just kills a lot of creatures in the format right now. It's pretty stable. I mean,
Yes.
it's good. Or destroy target artifact. Do you have pesky Gearhulks running around your standard events? They're gonna die to this 2 mana card.
Do you have pesky Gearhulks? Are you sick and tired of that 10/10 coming down and hitting you in the face?
Just getting the Braid! Ping! Gone. It's one of the best cards, that's why it's like $2. It's ridiculous, uncommon from our devastation. Highly recommend you pick it up for your red deck, at least in sideboard.
Fuel the fire.
Now, another thing that I'm doing a little bit differently is I'm running a full playset of Incendiary Flow. Now, yeah, this is from Eldritch Moon. I have the promo ones from F&M.
I was about to say, these are the promo ones.
Yeah, they're the special Coolio ones.
Big shots.
1 in a red for a sorcery. Incendiary Flow deals 3 damage to target creature or player. That's good, because that's like a bolt right to the face. For 1 more mana, but still, Lightning Strike was good.
I run a playset of those in my burn deck.
Yeah, if a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. So that gets rid of all those really hard to get, Relentless Dead stuff, the zombies, that kind of stuff that, or even, because we're in the format where we have Eternalize now, and Embalm.
Ooh, yeah.
Exile that. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
4/4s or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Now, the last cards that I'm running are the real debate, I think, in this deck. Collective Defiance. I'm running 3. I've seen this do a lot of work in the Pro Tour. 1 red for a sorcery. Escalate 1. Pay this cost for each mode chosen beyond first. Choose 1 or more. Target player discards all the cards in his or her hand, then draws that many cards. Collective Defiance deals 4 damage to target creature, or Collective Defiance deals 3 damage to target opponent.
I'm assuming you would be going for the last one. Let's say you have 2 extra mana. And the second one.
So,
clear out the big guys.
So what I've seen happen is people swinging in with their Bomat Couriers and stuff, and then getting 5 cards, and then those 5 cards happen to be just unusable. If one of those is a Collective Defiance, all I gotta do is cast it, pitch my whole hand, and draw up more. More gas, right?
More gas.
That's pretty good. Also, if I have any of these guys in here, the Falcon Wrath Gorgers, and I have one out on the battlefield, it's discarding. I can pay the 1 mana to throw one of these guys out. It's pretty good.
That's actually pretty smart.
It's not the worst.
No, it's not.
And I'm running 3 because I had them. And I don't know, I kind of want to try it out.
Try it out to see what happens.
Just try it out, see what happens. Let me just look at my list here, make sure that I didn't miss anything.
Oh man, you have a list too?
Yeah, my little baby list of 5 cards I'm missing for the deck.
I was that prepared. I just try to do my best to remember. You got notebooks and everything?
Notebooks and stuff.
You got a sideboard?
So my sideboard is... right now, like I said, it's not completely done, and I'm going to have to throw some cards from my sideboard into my deck today because I don't have the whole deck ready. But, hey, I want to know what time it is. How much time we got left to talk to you people? We got 7 whole minutes? This is great!
This is like the best day ever.
So, my sideboard, I just have my tokens kind of thrown in here.
Is that a Hylian I saw on there?
Yeah, Earthshaker cameras. The Eternalized tokens. I have the tokens, I just don't have the cards.
Only have 2.
Yeah, because I don't think that'll Eternalize more than 2. But that's okay.
Mm.
That's all I had on me.
Gotta get a place of it.
So...
Is that a Hylian I see in there? No, okay.
In my sideboard, I'm running, for now, 2 Karizev's Expertise. Remember, for you newer players, in 60-card formats, standard, modern, legacy, vintage, that kind of stuff, you have the option of running a 15-card sideboard. It's highly recommended because your first game you play with your normal deck. Then your second game, depending on what kind of tournament you're at, you have the option to sideboard out certain cards that are bad against the matchup that you're facing. Like the person that you're facing, say I'm running against your deck. I'm going to want to take out all my creature removal and stuff and put in some of these cards that might be creatures and stuff because I know that he didn't drop any creatures that turn. So it's pointless for me to draw something that hurts creatures, you know?
No, by all means, keep that in the deck.
So, Karizev's Expertise. 1 and 2 red for a sorcery. Gain control of target creature or vehicle until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste until end of turn. This steals anything. This just literally steals their bomb. You want a Gear Hulk? I got a Gear Hulk.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess you can have it because of that.
Yeah. And it gains haste until end of turn, so you can bash their face in, and you could win off this card. It's pretty good.
It'd be so fun.
But wait, there's more. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost.
Shock, Magma Spray.
You can just get a free Karizev off of this You could get a free Falcon Wrath Gorger, Bowmat Courier, Shock, a Braid. You can get a free anything off of this.
Life is good in mono red.
Oh yeah. So that's a 2 of in my sideboard right now. I don't know if I'm going to put it up or down depending on how it plays. I got a 3 of Magma Spray. Magma Spray didn't make the cut completely because it only deals 2 damage to target creature. I like Shock more because you can aim it at the player. And that's kind of what most people are thinking about.
A lot of people kind of push for.
Yep. So instant, 1 mana, Magma Spray deals 2 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile instead. I have it in here mainly for those zombie decks, graveyard stuff.
Mono black zombies has always been a
Hell of the Mirror still, just to get rid of stuff. Those Scrap Heap Scroungers. 3/2s, 3/2s that come back, those are annoying. Magma Spray takes them out. Then I should be running 2 Glory Bringers in my sideboard. Again, I only have the 1.
I've died so many times.
It's a good card. It's a good card. 5 mana, 3 and 2 red for a 4/4 Flying Haste. I may exert it as it attacks. When I do, it deals 4 damage to target non-dragon creature an opponent controls. That's pretty good. It's only in my sideboard because it's 5 mana for a 4/4. That's good, but my deck goes faster, and that's how most of the Ramen Up red decks go. And to close out my sideboard, I'm going to have a 2 of Scavenger Grounds. It's a land and it's a desert, but again, this is for graveyard strategies and stuff. With all the Eternalize and stuff like that running around this format right now, you need to have ways to exile graveyards and get rid of that stuff so you don't have to deal with it. I mean, even in this deck, you have the Earthshaker Kenras. And those are just ridiculous, because it says, enter the battlefield, target creature with power less than or equal to Earthshaker Kenra's power can't block this turn. That's the text on it that I forgot earlier.
4/4, it's just like...
Yeah, I mean, eternalizing that for 4/4, most of your stuff's not going to be able to block it,
that, yeah.
you know? So, that's going to basically be a game, because that has haste, you know? Earthshaker Kenra coming down is pretty devastating.
Yeah, pretty bad.
So having Scavenger Grounds in the sideboard is pretty good. I mean, it's just a land desert. This is when you cycle out, like, maybe one of your Sunscorched Deserts or something like that, or if you think that you need, like, a little bit more mana, that's when you put these in or something like that. Tap to add a color to your mana pool. Or pay 2 generic, tap it, and sacrifice a desert. Again, it doesn't have to be this desert. It could be any of the deserts I run in the deck. Exile all cards from all graveyards.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All graveyards.
All graveyards. So if I don't have anything, it doesn't do anything to me, but it does everything to you. So,
I mean...
yeah, it's pretty good.
Sounds pretty solid. It sounds very, very fast.
Oh yeah, that's the point of the deck. It's very, very fast. And yeah, that's basically what I'm running today. And
fun.
Yeah, game day should be good.
Good day.
I mean, we still got 2 minutes left to talk.
Sweet deal.
So,
how are you all doing? It's fine evening. Or morning, I should say.
Morning, evening time list.
I hope you all had your second breakfast.
Second breakfast, good breakfast.
Second breakfast is good breakfast.
So how do you think your deck's actually going to play out? Do you think that you're actually going to win some games?
Honestly, I feel kind of confident just because...
I think your deck's pretty solid, actually.
It's 26 card mill. That's devastating. You know.
I'm a little bit... If I face you today, I think I'm a little bit concerned about it. Because you don't have any creatures, and my deck has creatures.
It's all...
Yeah. I mean, if I can run out stuff early, then I might be able to kill you fast enough. But
absolutely.
I don't know if you can just unsummon my stuff, kind of stuff like that, and maybe counter my Hazards. That would be devastating, because Hazard's kind of like the closeout finisher of my deck. You know, you don't want that to go away.
I mean, that would be my main concern is the Incendiary Flows and definitely your deserts, just because, you know...
I can punch you in the face.
You know, turn 1, alright, you lose 1 life. Turn 2,
yeah.
Another life. Here's another 2 to your head. It's like, stop hitting me with sand in the eye.
Yep. So, you know what? With that being said, we only have about a minute left here. So, this was the first episode of Across the Multiverse. Again, this is going to be probably bi-weekly, I'd say, at this point. We might change it to weekly, depending on the
schedules and everything like that. Yeah. But we would like to continue doing this.
I had a lot of fun with this. This was good. I liked it.
But this was basically the first episode, introduction, stuff like that.
Yeah, basically getting you used to us, which is hard, because, you know.
I wouldn't say that. Come on down, say hi to us.
Again, we're broadcasting from Great Stories in Uxbridge, Massachusetts. This has been Across the Multiverse. Thanks for watching.